G'day everyone, Ariel from CPC here again with another workshop update. Good timing. You might have noticed we've been machining a bunch of Diff Hats. These have actually been completed. The complete sets for the Diff Hats, which includes the Diff Hat itself, the gaskets, the fittings, all complete, are ready on our shelves, ready to send out. We've also sent out a bunch of back orders for those as well. The website's been updated, so they're all good to go. We've got 3 intake manifolds heading out as well. We've got a billet RB30, a billet 1JZ for a local customer, and a billet 2JZ heading out today. That one's actually heading overseas. On from that, we've had a bit of a delay with our RB26 manifolds. Reason being, I've made a small change to our billet water pipe that we sell as an option. That didn't go too well in terms of fitment. I wasn't happy with it, and as you know, I don't like sending stuff out that's half-assed. The product itself, or that part of the product itself, has been redesigned. The redesigning has been completed. I'm waiting on materials for that to turn up and then remachine. Once that's done, I'll resend out the parts for anodising, which need to be, but I'll be in touch with customers regarding the delay and keep you guys updated. We've had a bit of an unexpected surprise, you might say. We've had some parts go missing in freight. They're gone missing between myself and our carbon fibre guy. Where they are, who knows? That means there's a delay in just 2 orders, luckily. I'll be in touch with customers regarding that delay, where we're at and how we're going to proceed with that. And hopefully everything's going to go smooth sailing from there on. That's most probably the second time that's ever happened in almost 20 years of being in business. I've never had parts go missing, or very rarely. These things happen. Why? Not sure. Out of my control, unfortunately, but we just have to move on. You might have noticed from our last video, I made mention of some upgrades being made to our VM3, which has the 5-axis trunnion. That machine is now back up and running. Unfortunately, we've had another issue with another one of our machines, one of our VF2s. It caused a bit of a flow-on effect, as you'd expect with delays, but I ripped apart one machine to then get the other machine going. That's up and going, running some NRE parts. We've got the other machine that's down and waiting for parts. Those parts are actually en route to us from overseas. As soon as those parts turn up, we'll be getting going that second VF2. At the same time, I'm actually upgrading that with a 4th axis. So that makes it 3 machines with 4th axis capabilities and 1 machine with 5-axis capabilities. What that means, and what's something I've been trying to do this year, is simply dedicating 1 machine to run 1 part from start to finish. No interchanging of parts between machines. I'll keep customers up to date as to where we're at per job, per machine. We know where it's at. It keeps things nice and simple. Other upgrades we're making to the machines, we've actually got probing going on all 3 Hasses. This is something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and it also gives us the ability to do some in-process quality checking all through our Autodesk Fusion 360. Now, when that's happening, that's actually happening when we've got some bit of downtime with machines. That takes probably a day per machine to get it all set up. But that's something that's a bit of a process we're working on the background to improve the end product even that little bit more. It also helps up process times as well. So setting up the machines itself, setting up the stock on the machine, and setting up tools. So the faster we can produce those parts, the less downtime there is for manual handling, and at the end of the day makes for a more efficient shop. One other thing that you might also notice is this here right behind me, Bamboo X1 Carbon 3D printer. A 3D printing we've touched on really, I'd say maybe 5 years ago. We had a budget kind of machine, and as you'd expect for anything, budget doesn't last too long. Well, the Bamboo Carbon X1 is going to fill that spot purely for prototyping. It does have the option to print carbon. What that means, it's obviously exciting, and the possibilities of that are exciting, but let's just see what happens. I'm going to use it mainly for, like I said, for prototyping. First of all, it would be the RB26 cam cover sets. If we can prototype those, make sure that all the changes that I've made to those sets work and work well, then I can save myself an initial waste of pretty much a product which is like a prototype machining. I don't need to do that anymore. So fingers crossed this all works out well for us. Okay, onto the workshop machining side of things. What have we got going on? CSF runs on the Herco non-stop. That is CSF Gen 1 and Gen 2 B58 intake manifolds, as well as their B58 Race X. Those manifolds run non-stop on that machine from start to finish. All processes get done on that one machine. As I mentioned to you before, we're trying to make sure that we run one job per machine and keep things consistent. That way we can keep customers updated and on the progress of everything. So that's what's going on the Herco. We've got one of the VF2s, which is almost finished doing a bunch of NRE parts. We've got the VM3 5-axis, which is running our Lamborghini parts at the moment. I want to split that batch of 10 manifolds into 2 batches of 5, only to try and catch up a bit of a backlog which are going on with some other parts. So they're running at the moment, and our last VF2, which we've got being repaired at the moment, they'll be running some stock straight after that. On from that is our RB26 drag manifolds. I've got 10 of those to make. They will be getting done as soon as our NRE products are done. Then from there, we've got some RB30 street version intake manifolds. Our biggest product from day one. So this is how I started out doing our RB30 street version manifolds. It was all started with my own car. I thought, you know what? Why not sell these? And here we are. 20 something years later, I'm still making this same product. The product actually hasn't changed in price since 2004, I think it is. Sounds a little bit crazy, I know, but hey, whatever. It's a good product, it's a budget product, and that product continues to serve and sell well. Look, I haven't had them on stock as available on our website, but I've changed that now. We've got some back orders to make of those, and I'll be getting through those as soon as possible. All the parts are available. The plenum shapes itself, the plenum sheet metal itself, all the bases, all the bell mounts, all the runners are prepped, ready for me just to assemble and weld. The last product we've got in the pipeline for the time being anyway, in the near future, is our RB30 rocker covers. Again, a high demand product. When we're actually able to get to them, I'm going to make some stock for those. I've got a couple of back orders as well. But that said, we've got material allocated for it and we've got time allocated for it. So those should be updated on the website as well again. In case you've got www.cpc.store, go there and check out all the products on there and see what's available. So what's been happening on the scene? Our billet 2JZ cylinder head, as much as I thought had been damaged far beyond repair, it seems like Tony and the team at Barracuda Engineering, along with Rod Harvey, might be able to save that cylinder head and use that cylinder head for more testing come, I think it is the Winter Nationals in July and Jamboree in August. Fingers crossed that all goes well. It sounds like it's promising. I'm actually relieved a little bit because I don't have to machine another one before then, which would have put a bunch of stress on me, which I don't need at this moment in time. Then hopefully the testing all goes well and we'll be able to offer that product from there on in. It might need a revision. This is all part of testing a completely new product. I think there's only 1 or 2 on the market at the moment, but me testing it and continually testing it until it's actually ready to sell. That leads me on to the next one, the RB26 cylinder head. I've mentioned that we're going to be making a prototype for Croydon Racing Development, much along the same lines as the 2JZ cylinder head. Simply a direct replacement of the factory cylinder head. So what I'm trying to do is prove the concept of a solid one-piece cylinder head works with all the factory specs. Then we can do the upgrading as we need to, just like the 2J head, moving spring heights, moving valve positions, changing port positions, port shapes, all to suit an ultimate performance cylinder head, not being limited by the factory design. So that's our 2JZ and RB cylinder heads. Keep an eye out, I'll be releasing plenty of details as soon as I'm ready for that. I've had some other workshop actually get in touch about that same thing. I know there's a demand for them. When you get to start making these kind of ridiculous 2,500, 3,000 horsepower, these factory cylinder heads just are not able to cope. Hopefully this fills the gap. You guys might know about Shane, 1JZ747. We've been supporting Shane for quite some time. We've grown to be great friends and actually really nice guy, one of the nice guys of the scene. His car is actually going through a complete revamp. You might have seen some details, new ECU, new engine, new tuner, updates on some chassis requirements for safety, and then also adding an intercooler, and that's where I come into it. Shane uses our intake manifold and he asked about an intercooler. These small import engines with high boost must have an intercooler. I've talked about it time and time again, and you can see it in the results just show for the likes of, you know, Rod Harvey, the Croydon Racing Developments team have also been using our water arena intercoolers with great success. They're a must for a small capacity engine, so we've got on board with Shane and offering him one of our I'm going to rate them between 2,000 and 2,500 horsepower intercoolers. That will be designed in conjunction with Kyle at 6 Boost, who's undergoing some changes for the front of that car. Fingers crossed that will be done shortly and you'll see that car at the track really soon. The last thing going on is our 3D printed Inconel exhaust manifold for an RB26 R32 GDR compound turbo. Yes, there's a couple of guys that do compound turbos. How many do them with a lightweight, purpose-built, untouched engine bay? None. That's where we've come in. We've been designing this manifold for 3 years on and off. We've finally got it to the point where it's being printed at the moment and waiting on the printing to be completed and then total assembly to be completed. Hopefully comes back to us ready to install. It's all on us really on the end in the design side of things. Fingers crossed, please, that it fits as expected. It's not a cheap exercise. What the idea is yes, to make it offer it to the public, but let's see how it goes. I hope it's not wrong. Fingers crossed for my bank account. Please be right. Anyway, let's see how it goes. Exciting times. The customer's been on edge about this. I've had the car for maybe 4 years. 4 years too long, the customer most probably thinks, but he's a pretty cool dude. The car has got a bit of a reputation in the scene. It's been around for a long time, and it's making one hell of a comeback. It's getting the whole CPC catalogue thrown at it, from top to bottom, billet block, billet cylinder head. He's already expressed his interest in those. So that car's most probably going to push the development of those products even a little bit quicker into the forefront instead of being delayed a little bit further. So fingers crossed, that all comes together nicely as a cool little package. Again, an engine being built by Croydon and the car's going to be finished by Croydon. I'll do my little part and send it off on its way. So we'll see how it goes, but I'll be updating everyone on that one. That's a really exciting project. A precision Pro Mod turbo fed by another mid-size precision turbo, all within the engine bay without cutting much really. There's one cylinder head, there's one hole that I have to do for the intercooler piping and the rest fits in without being touched. Exciting times for that car and that customer as well. So let's see how that all goes. All right guys, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. If you got this far, head on over to our website, check out all our stock, and I'll see you in the next one. Is that all right?
That was good.
Okay.